Right, everyone, we're back, and hopefully we're going to actually race on Rennsport. Sorry for all the chaos earlier, but I believe I'm actually in a server now, and it was to do with a small issue with the review build of the game that we were using as we were reviewing this game, so it's not going to be an issue that affects other people, but it definitely affected us. Either way, we've got it sorted now. We're in. And hopefully that means, I mean, literally, we've got 2 minutes of practice, almost over, and we're going to immediately jump into a qualifying session at Monza, which I think might be 1 lap. So, yeah, we're just going to see how it all goes. We're going to do some races on Rennsport online, and we'll experience for the first time what the actual multiplayer system is like. So, welcome along. I think Ross is in the Discord chat as well. Ross was helping me try and work out what was going on, try and deal with his own issues. But I think you're still having issues, Ross, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
You might need to quit and reset, right? Though, because
yeah. So yeah, it's what shall I say? It's like there's a press build and there's a public build, and for some reason things weren't going as we planned. So, but now apparently everything's fixed. So yeah, should be all good now.
Yes. So when I first tried to join a race earlier, guys, I was on the review or the press build, which is what I should have been on. It didn't work, and it said I was on the wrong version. So then I thought, oh, I must have needed to switch version, and they forgot to tell us. So I switched the version, tried that, it didn't work, and then that was apparently the wrong thing to have done. I should have stayed on the first version, but there was an issue that caused that, that wasn't meant to happen. It's been fixed now. We're in the race. So yeah, take 2. We should be back. So I do apologise for all the chaos. We're literally going straight out for qualifying. I've not done a single lap today, because we've been trying to get this going today. So, I mean, I guess that's it, right? We're straight into one lap qualifying here at Monza in the GT3. Let me just get my gloves on to give me that extra half second. And we will eventually take a breather and have a look at what's actually going on here with Rennsport and check out the menus and all that sort of stuff. But let's just kick things off with a race. Immediately, I'm going to turn down the ABS a little bit, turn down the TC a little bit. So, interesting thing of note, and you can see this straight away, if you look at the top left, all the different names on the leaderboard, you've got a little symbol next to the position number, and that tells you what platform they're on. So in the top 10 right now, I am the only one on PC. I wasn't looking at my braking zone. And I'm the only one on PC, everyone else is on PlayStation. So, you'll be able to see what that looks like cross-platform. Looks like a lot of people who have this game are on it straight away with the PlayStation build rather than buying it on PC or trying it on PC day one, which is interesting to see. Seems to be braking very early for the chicanes, but that's fine. We'll just get our banker warm-up lap in. Doesn't really matter where we qualify or where we finish in this, because we're just going to be working out as we go along. But good to see you back, Ken. Good to see you, Mac, as well. Welcome. You missed what happened in the first stream. We've set it to private on the YouTube channel as well, just not to confuse folk who were, because this new stream has got the same title and everything, so we didn't want to cause confusion about the 2 streams, so we've just privated that one at the moment, and we'll just go for this new one now. And I've also realised I've given you no context for this session, so it's I didn't even know until I joined, to be fair, which was about 2 minutes ago. So we're doing an amateur race right now. I don't know what the requirements are, but we seem to meet the minimum requirements. It's an amateur race in GT3s around Monza, so there's 10 of us in the server, by the looks of it. I think there were like 50 minimum people signed up for the event, so I think we're being split into groups of up to 12 drivers. That's just a guess. There's 10 in this one, but we'll need to see how many people are actually in each server. Right, across the line, a 53.0 to start with. Not a fast time, but we got a safe qualifying lap in. Holy Moly Racing. And well, so there's already people asking would I recommend buying it. So we have our review coming out in the next day or two. So I'd recommend watching that. My main question is, what are you looking to play this game for? Because without, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and do the full review, but if you're looking to play this game in single player, if you're a fan of single player racing and that's why you're buying the game, do not buy this game yet. I cannot in any way recommend this game, unless you're just into hot lapping. But if you're looking to do multiplayer online racing, then it's a consideration of how this feels today and how we get on with these races. but the signs are very good for multiplayer in terms of the netcode and the racing and stuff. So we're going to see more of that. But I don't want you guys spending your money on this game yet if you're a fan of single player before you've actually seen our review or other reviews of the game to cover it, because there's such a long way to go with the single player stuff. It feels very much, let's say, unfinished or not quite ready to go yet. There you go.
It's a very diplomatic way of putting it.
A quick summary, yeah. So now we just wait, I guess, 15 seconds to go in this qualifying session until everyone's done their lap. We're sitting P2, so we'll get a front row start for our first online race here.
Turn 1 at Monza. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
We're going to find out. So you didn't make it into this race, right, Ross? But have you reset the game, and is there any updates?
Yeah, so I've basically got to re-download the whole game.
Okay.
I'll be a little while yet. So I might just jump on the other exciting project we have this week.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we've got an 8-lap race at Monza, so it's not the shortest, but not the longest. Quite a nice race for a little sprint. We've got a minute to join the grid. It's a rolling start as well, so I'm very intrigued to see how this rolling procedure works. We did a couple of test races as part of the review process, and they were standing starts, but when we've done other test races, rolling starts have caused some issues. So let's see if this rolling start goes well, but we'll call it as we see it. So you can see there the Porsche Mission R is our safety car there in front. Again, we're going to turn down the ABS, turn down the traction control a little bit.
Think the safety car will be okay going around the last corner?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We have come across some issues, and it'll possibly, I don't know if it'll make it into the review yet, video-wise, but we have encountered some issues with the safety car and rolling starts, involving them not making it around the final corner. So let's see what happens here. We've got a radar in the middle, as you can see. So we've got a proximity radar, as you get with a lot of popular sims. I am racing against everyone else on PlayStation. I'm the only PC runner in this race, which is cool. Okay, so pit limiter on 60 k's, but it's a 100-kilometer speed limit by the looks of it. So you can see it's telling me where to kind of line up. There's a little green and yellow indicator in the middle of the proximity radar. So at the moment, everything's fine. Too far behind, so I need to go a bit further forward. It's saying too far behind. So we're way above the speed limit now. So we're speeding by 50 kilometers, but it's also saying I'm too far behind. So that's not super. Slow down, you're too far away from the player behind. So now it's saying slow down, you're too far away, but it's also saying too far behind. So very, very messy, and now we're green, and I've got to drive through. Okay, so instantly that race has been ruined by the rolling start procedure.
Great stuff.
So basically, I think I shouldn't have sped up there, but the game was telling me I was too far behind, so I was speeding up because it was saying I was too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, when it has like a green box, that implies that you're supposed to keep within the green box. And you were within the green box, and you got to drive through.
Yeah, so that has happened before. I've done rolling starts on, I think, 3 races total now, and 2 test events, and this one. And every single time the race start has been ruined because of an issue with the safety car. And I think it's that the game thinks the safety car is one of your rivals. So it's telling you to keep up with your rival, but the safety car is going, obviously accelerating away to go into the pits. So basically what's happening is the game is telling you to slow down and speed up at the same time. You can't do both, so you just kind of panic. And then I've got to drive through. But I think the way around it is to ignore the bit that says keep up with the car in front and just focus on the speed limit. But yeah, that's something that very much needs fixed soon, because to have a rolling start in online racing, you can't have it where people don't know what they're doing. You need to have that fixed. So hopefully it's just an issue with reading the safety car. Anyway, we'll take our drive through and we'll see if we can fight back through the field. At least I survived turn 1 because of that. I had a nice gap.
Yeah.
I think the Mercedes is the best sounding GT3 car as well. Right, into the pits we come. To take our drive through, we'll get it done straight away so we can do a bit of a fight back here. Let's not speed into the pits. Where's the limit line? I think it's here. There we go. Alright, drive-through penalty. You can see our pit crew there on the right for the pit stop, but we're not going in, we're driving through. And we're going to come out in P7, I think. Right, go. Drive through served. Alright, that's worked well. And now we're a long way back, but we'll see what we can do from here. Give us a chance to get warmed up for the day. Yeah, so the virtual mirror is, yeah, there's you can see a lot of pop-in and stuff like that, of course. You don't see far behind you. You can change the settings on the virtual mirror. I think we've got them set quite high by default. I'm on the default settings just to start with.
Yeah, like I set them to high, like the draw distance as well, and it looks pretty similar to what you've got, which is not very detailed.
You can see cars in a close proximity pretty well, but you just can't see cars in the distance, which obviously when you turn the draw distance up is the reason you would want that higher. So like going into turn 1 there, for instance, I couldn't see anyone until the apex. I didn't know how far behind second and third were.
Yeah, you need to, at the very least, you need to see if like a dive bomb's incoming.
Monza T1, yes, specifically.
Yeah, and at those kind of detail settings, I'd say it's very difficult to see whether someone's like charging in.
One thing that's hugely impressive so far for me though is the performance of the game. So you can probably see this on stream, but I am getting a completely steady, rock solid 60 frames per second every time. I think I've had, in the course of playing this game offline and online during our testing process, and as I say, this is the first proper online race against general members of public, but I have very, very rarely dropped below 60 frames per second. Super, super consistent. I think maybe twice I've had a tiny little momentary, not freeze, but just a stutter, and that's pretty much it. So that's a good sign. Try and work out braking markers around here because we are coming in a bit cold, but I mean it's Monza GT3, so we've got plenty of experience. You can brake pretty late in this game, I think. Yeah, so fresh cut flour. The reason, so I think what we've determined so far, the USP here for Rennsport. On PC, it's difficult to find one because there are a lot of sims that can already do a lot of these things already. But, you know, solid performance, good netcode seems to be the thing on online racing. And I think for console players specifically, who are looking for online racing that's, you know, realism focused and is like a sim, you know, if they can get good racing with good netcode and good online stuff, that is your selling point for Rennsport because there are less options on console than you have on PC. You know, we don't yet have your Le Mans Ultimates, your iRacings, your games like that. You do have Assetto Corsa Competizione and the original Assetto Corsa, of course. But yeah, that's the main window of USP, let's say. The reason you would buy it, I think. Right, we're catching up with some traffic finally, so let's see. I mean, this is our first test of public netcode, so this is against PlayStation players. Get them moved on out of a scar. You can see pretty close to contact, but nothing unusual there in the behaviour. I'll go chase cam just to kind of show you. There's a very Unreal Engine characteristic with the shadow at the back. We'll defend the inside line. I'm just showing you the chase cam so you can see how, like, you know, netcode is when cars run close together for a second. Up to P6. But what I haven't seen is any, like, unusual behaviour from the cars around me. So I haven't seen any weaving or cars jumping or stuttering or anything like that yet, which is positive. Ooh, Porsche behind. Almost got into the back of me, but I actually did really well to avoid taking me out, which was polite. Let's see how we get on against this Aston Martin. Oh, they're going to hit the curb. We'll try and run close, but yeah, there you go. And we didn't really see too much close racing there because of the mistake, but the car basically behave in a natural way, which is all you can ask for in that situation. Oh, Race 07, what a great game. I was massive on Race 07 as a kid. Like, that was one of the most played sims for me throughout my childhood, so I'd love to do a video on Race 07 at some point.
I think that was a game that basically got me into like proper sim racing.
Yeah.
Back in 2009, I think it was.
There was a lot of people. I mean, we obviously were sim racing together, Ross, from probably about 2012 onwards or something. And I think a lot of people around then were into it because of Race 07, I would say. Or at least not necessarily because of Race 07, but it was definitely one of the games that people were playing, you know, as they started sim racing.
It's like a really good gateway sim.
Yeah, for sure.
From that, like, I moved on to R Factor and also like GT Legends by Simbin. And yeah, I thought I was really into historic racing, so GT Legends was tremendous back in the day.
Catching up with the Porsche now, so we'll see if we can get into the top 4. Again, a reminder, all of the players in this race, other than myself, are on PlayStation, so it's complete physics parity across the board. So we've got the same physics system for us as we have on PC and PlayStation, basically. Porsche's going to go wide. Oh, it's going to ruin our fastest lap attempt. But nothing anyone did wrong there at all. We'll try and set this Porsche up. Get a good run out of Ascari, or towards Ascari I should say. Porsche gets a bit loose. You can see there the proximity radar helping a lot. We can run really close together. So far so good netcode wise. Porsche backs off. Get some clean road for the next lap, so we'll try and push for a reasonable lap time. We're quite far away from top 3, so I don't know if we'll get a podium in this one. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for what the game is, which is, you know, our video review will be coming out in the next few days. We need to play online as a collective just to be able to analyze that, because we obviously in the review process we haven't had the chance to play with the members of public actually online in this game, so it's very hard to kind of finish a review until you've tried the multiplayer stuff on a game that is very much focused on multiplayer. So we will get that, of course, to you as soon as we can, but we want it to be proper. But yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive. Alright, I can brake pretty late for these chicanes, a bit later than I'm used to in GT3s. And you get off the brake quite early and the car dives in quite nicely. The GT3 cars actually, I think, feel really solid. There's a bit of inconsistency across the board with the various cars and their physics, but the GT3s definitely stand out as some of the best, for sure. I think it doesn't matter which one you drive, or at least the ones I've experienced anyway, which is most of them so far, they do feel good. They feel like they've been worked on a lot and just tweaked away, and I think it's a solid platform. Some of the other cars, unfortunately, don't feel like they've had as much attention to them, like with the force feedback or the way they interact. Nice over the curves for the Merc. We'll have to see about PMR, yeah. Like we'll have to see what the final version is, but based on what we've tried so far, I mean, they're very different games, but the content is incredible and there's going to be lots of features. But yes, the inconsistency is what we're looking to hopefully have dialed out from what we've played already compared to what the final release version is. And obviously it's coming very, very soon, so there will only be so many things that are improved and changed. Right, we've got our fastest lap. We've got 2 laps to go. We'll try and improve it still. I don't think we're going to... Well, maybe we can catch P3 depending on the pace. We were 4 seconds quicker on that lap, so there's a chance. Can brake almost at the 100 board at Monza, which is kind of unheard of. Bit of understeer. What I need to know though with the multiplayer is like how the actual ranking system works. We've got a Rennsport rating and we've got a safety ranking. That's the stuff we haven't been able to actually really test properly in terms of the 1.0 release yet. So hopefully we'll have a bit of an understanding by the end of today. Main thing was just getting a race going. So now that we know the races work, we can build from here. Now we're actually on a working build of the game. Oh, that's understeer. Yeah, I think you're right, Fresh Cut Flower, in terms of the single player stuff. I think that's what's helping PMR as well, because they are doing a career mode at launch and all these things. Some of the hardcore sims tend to focus more on the multiplayer, which is obviously big, but there's still a huge amount of players that really just enjoy single player racing games. Definitely feels, one thing I've noticed about driving this GT3 at Monza compared to the other sims that I'm used to is I can brake quite a lot later. You'll probably be noticing that, but everywhere I feel like I'm going too early. So it's quite forgiving, which kind of makes it enjoyable in some ways. Like I feel like I can attack the track pretty hard. I'm not having to drive defensively, I'm very much able to drive offensively, but then I do get a bit of understeer at certain moments through the mid-corner, which so maybe I'm braking a bit too early and then trying to compensate by carrying more speed in and just overdoing it a little bit. But technique-wise, there's, as with all racing sims really, there's a few little nuances to your driving style that you can tweak in order to get the most out of the cars. So what I'm noticing on Rennsport, braking is something I seem to be quite good at. And most sims I'm pretty bad under braking. Like I can lose a lot of time with my braking technique and my trail braking and stuff generally. I'm a bit too slow in sometimes. I focus so much on getting a good exit that I sometimes compromise a lot of speed going in. But on Rennsport, I seem to be able to get stopped very well, and then you have to fully roll off the brake in order to actually get the car in. And I think I'm used to, there's other games where you kind of have to trail brake all the way in and keep a bit of brake lock, but with Rennsport, if you hold a bit too much brake, you get a lot of understeer. And it's obviously different from car to car, but it is something you have to try and get used to with any new sim you jump in, is how to actually extract the lap time from the cars. There's P3 just up in front. It's the last lap. There's a chance we get P3 here, but I need them to make a few more mistakes. There should be track limits as well. We've not had a single issue, I don't think. We've had 5 incident points, but most of that's from the jump start, from the broken UI. I don't think we've had any track cuts.
How many incident points are you allowed?
15 in this one, Ross, and we've got 5, and I think all of them, or maybe all of them, came from that first race start incident. Yeah, we're not going to catch the podium in time. We just needed maybe 3 more corners, and we could have done it. But it's going to be P4. Anyway, first race underway. There we are. We'll see. We'll just have to investigate on the menus and see what races to join next. That was, as I say, an amateur race. There is also rookie, which I think are BMW M2 races. And then there's pro races as well, which you need a certain driver ranking for. Or Rennsport Racing, I think it is, which we will not have yet. Also, I don't know if you can see in the background, but my car is actually still driving. So I can still, like, in the back of shot here on the results screen, you can see your car crashing in the background because it's just continuing on down the road, which is kind of amusing. Anyway, we'll wait until we can exit the session. Any feel from ABS? I think there's a little bit. It's not something I've analysed too hard in terms of feel, but yeah, I think you can feel the car under braking pretty well, I believe. AMS2 has a decent single-player focus, but the car handling is a bit off. AMS2, yes, but AMS2 also doesn't have a career mode. It should have it's on the menu, it's there, it's going to happen at some point, but it's not there yet. But even with that, there's a lot you can do, obviously, single-player, because the AI are good, right? So for AMS2, you can race against the AI and have some fun, and you can do multi-class, and you can do all sorts of different presets and things. AI racing is not the Rennsport forte at this stage, to put it lightly. But again, we'll cover that in our review. Here we go. So this is our first time looking at the ranking. Complete 4 more races to receive your rank. So we're doing our kind of entry-level races here. And then we're back to the menu. Right. So what I'm probably going to do at this point is actually hide my face for a second, just so you can kind of see what we're working with here in terms of the game menu. Oh yeah, AMS2. Sorry, I didn't say that very clearly. AMS2 is Automobilista 2, but a lot of people just call it AMS2 to save syllables. Thank you for clarifying that as well, Sam. So yes, here's your main race menu for Rennsport. So you've got single player, quick play, which is actually quick online races, and then multiplayer, which is the more kind of fleshed out multiplayer system. So we've got custom contests, which is compete in special races. As you can see, there are no special races on right now. So custom contests are not underway yet. There are none. And it's not like you can create your own lobby in here or anything like that. You can also turn on and off crossplay, but I've so far experienced no issues with crossplay, so leave it on. Then you have the official contests, so it's take part in official scheduled races against the Rennsport community. So here you go. You can see what races are on each day. So you've got a calendar on the top left there. We're scrolling along the days, and then if you go into a day, so we'll go into the 10th, we can hit enter, then you've got all of these races here. So, for example, it's almost 1 o'clock, so we could do the rookie M2 race at Fuji. 47 people are signed up. There's also the GT3 amateur race at Founders Track. There's a rookie race at 12 minutes past 1 at Hockenheim, then another amateur race. So there's lots of races on at any given moment. And you can also check in advance using Q&E on the keyboard for PC users. You can see what races are happening later. So you've got pro races already, rookie, amateur, pro. You've got a safety ranking number there that you have to be to take part. We can't see ours yet, but I don't even know if we've got one until we actually do 5 races. So what we're going to do is sign up for the rookie race. You can click notify me, you can click session info, and then in here you can view the car selection, your damage settings, fuel usage, tire wear, number of drivers. But I don't think we'll have 49 drivers on at once, let's put it that way. So let's sign up. With 50 drivers registered, so we're now registered, and we will see how we get split in terms of servers. Almost entirely PlayStation. So this is interesting. I'd say like... Oh, we've got Dan Kaya's in here as well, very fast driver. I would say the majority, I mean, that's an overwhelming majority are on PlayStation, which just shows you how much PlayStation users are in need of a good sim, because, yeah, this is the thing. PC users, we have so many options for sim racing titles, and the question's always been, what does Rennsport do that other sims don't do? Or what does Rennsport do best that other sims don't do as well? Whereas on console, it's more slim pickings for sim racing fans, and in terms of hardcore sims especially. You have your Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport on Xbox, and that's great, but you don't have your LMU yet, you don't have your iRacing, you didn't have your R Factor, you don't have your Race Room, you don't have your Automobilista 2, all of these things. So it's a different world. 90 trees, I agree, it's not even trees, 90 tres? 93? Menus are nice, yeah, I really like the UI. Xbox, yes, that is something I've heard as well. Xbox seems to have a big issue. There is no online racing for Xbox users across platform yet, I believe, and that's something they're working on. I don't want to say that officially, but that is what I've picked up this morning, is that there are some issues there. But we will try and keep you up to date on Traxion website and socials as usual, but it sounds like there's big issues with the Xbox version, which is not good. And again, we're focusing online today, but I think this game gives off a very big feeling of not yet being ready. Like, in terms of single player especially. Obviously, you saw there with the start of the race and the rolling start, the safety car, the HUD wasn't working properly. I got a drive-through penalty for trying to follow instructions. But offline, I mean, the AI are really not ready at all. And there are lots and lots of little bugs and funny things that happen that you don't expect, which just makes it feel like a very early version. So that's why I've been saying throughout this, if you're watching this and you're wanting to buy this game for single player purposes, if you're not an online racing fan, please, I would highly recommend don't pre-order it until you've seen a bit more and seen reviews, because I don't think you can justify spending a lot of money on this game for the single player experience just now, unless you're just into hot lapping and you just want to drive the cars around. For online racing, it's a different thing, and that's what we're doing here. So, I mean, aside from the start line procedure, which kind of ruined the race, the few overtakes I did make, I saw no issues with netcode, and that's been a theme. I've been really impressed by that. No issues with the cross-platform that I've seen so far. Seem to be able to race against PlayStation users without any issues whatsoever. So that's all really positive. How many people are actually in this race? I think it's just, is it 12? 13. All right, we've got 13 on the grid, so it's more than 12 you can have. Also, the performance, as I mentioned during the last race, I was getting like a solid 60 frames per second, no problem at all throughout. that race. And I was actually, as well as streaming, so I'm running OBS in the background, I'm doing all of this, I was also capturing locally that that recording on board. So my PC is doing a lot of stuff on top of just playing the game, and my PC is quite strong, specs are in the description, but not all PC sim racing titles give me a solid 60 frames per second. That's for sure. I have issues. I have to run on certain graphic settings and things, but with Rennsport, I'm running on, I've left the graphics on default. They look fine. The settings are pretty high. It's not maxed out, but it's pretty high, and I've just had completely smooth performance so far. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Is the game good on PS5? Astonishing Gaming. Well, again, it completely depends. It's the same thing as I was saying before, but it completely depends on what you want from a game. If you're looking for a single-player racing game experience, it's probably not. No, it's not going to be one to look at. But if you want online racing like this, then, and you're focused fully on online, then definitely could be. Oh, there's no specs. Sorry about that. My PC specs are in a lot of our videos, and they should be. That's a mistake if they're not in there. They should be in there, but they've been in. That's probably because I copied over the wrong, the wrong stream settings in our rush. But yeah, the PC specs are in a lot of previous videos on Traction, so hopefully you'll be able to pick them up, or I can get them added to this after the fact. Right, time delayed qualifying. Let's see, 13 people. It's Fuji. It's BMW M2. Time delayed qualifying basically means that it's a one-lap shootout. You get put on track at the same time, you're set to go, you can't see other cars, but you get one lap, you set a time, and then that's it. And I think that actually works really well for quick-fire online racing, where you want to do lots of quick races, because it doesn't take too long. One-shot quali is always fun, I enjoy the thrill of it. And then you go from there. Oh yeah, I was going to check that, so mirror, let's go for video settings. I think so everything's on. Use one render target. Turn this option on can increase the performance, but the perspective mirror is less accurate, so it's off, so it should be good. We'll turn up the rendering distance, right, to like 250, and we'll turn the resolution to high. Let's see what happens. So we won't get the blue sky, but we'll see how it looks. Okay, it's also non-GT3, so we've got a race in the BMW M2, which, to be fair, is not a car I've driven very much yet. It's the car you drive in the kind of tutorial for the game. I might go fully off with the traction control, to be honest. I'll probably spin, now that I've said that. There's a reasonable amount of pop-in. One thing I've also noticed with the grass, which is interesting, I was looking at the tracks going, why do they look so different to so many other sims? And I think it's I think it's because they've actually given a lot of height to the grass. It's like the grass hasn't been cut. And you can also obviously see that loading in as you go, which is not ideal. Oh, that's a bad start. Nice. Okay, braking is not as late as I thought it might be in the BMW, and I've spun at turn 1, so... Anyway, we'll be doing a last to first challenge. Yeah, it's a validator lap anyway, so we use this as a little warm-up lap to try and get used to the car a little bit. And there you can see the incident points. I just braked way too late into that corner. I was too busy looking at the grass. I was thinking about lawnmowers. But yeah, you can obviously see the pop-in and stuff like that. I don't mind a bit of pop-in and things if the performance is smooth. I'd rather have smooth performance, but obviously you still want it to look decent. Mirror is better now, you can see, but it's still not the best, but we will have longer draw distances. Okay, so the braking in this car, you still have to brake pretty early. It's not... The brakes are not super strong. I do have ABS. Oh! Not very stable over the curbs. It's actually a much more challenging driving experience than the GT3, funnily enough. I know I'm running no traction, but... Maybe you can lean on it a bit more with a little bit of traction. The force feedback definitely doesn't feel as like dynamic as a GT3. With the M2, it does feel a little bit numb. Yeah, the grass needs mowing. Very, very true. They've been busy trying to launch the game. They've not had time to cut the grass. Anyway, we'll do an invalid 157 with a spin and a horrible couple of sectors. But it looks like only 2 people set valid laps, so actually, our lap time might matter because we're currently sitting P6, and I don't know if that means we'll start in P6, because we had the 6th fastest time, including invalidations. That's good to know. If it does that, it means that if you invalidate your lap in qualifying, still try and set a good lap time, because if everyone else invalidates, you can still start ahead of them, I guess. We'll see how that translates. Anyway, I should probably drive a bit more. Kazuto check. Yeah, physics are mixed. I think overall they're like it's all right. It's decent enough. It's just not consistent enough. So yeah, some cars feel really quite good and I'm impressed, and then other cars I'm like, something's not right here. The M2 is not my favorite, I'll be honest. I love driving this M2 on other sims. I loved driving it on R Factor 2. I love driving it on iRacing. It's actually a difficult car to drive, but you get a lot of feeling from it. It's got soft suspension, it's kind of wallowy, all of these things, but you can really chuck it around, and it does feel very natural and raw to drive, despite being a bit kind of lazy and chuckable. And it can bite you as well. And although this Rennsport one feels like it can bite me, I'm just not getting the same feeling through the car that I'm getting with other cars in the game and other versions of the M2 in other games. It's definitely not my favorite version of the M2 to drive. Normally I really enjoy driving this car, whereas right now I'm not getting the enjoyment from the car. Obviously, if you get good at it, it can be enjoyable, and we'll see how the racing is as well. Yeah, right now we can't set any more qualifying laps, by the way, so you just get... Well, I'm saying that. Maybe you can. I thought it was just one qualifying lap, but actually, maybe you get as many laps as you want. In which case, we'll be able to get one more in. Yeah, we'll try. Let's brake a bit earlier. That's quite funny. I'm just assuming you got one lap, because in previous attempts I've done of this, I've always reached the checkered, but actually maybe because it's a rookie race, I'm seeing there 3 laps out of 10, so I should have maybe looked before before calling that, but yeah, qualifying wasn't over. You can see the grass on the apex. It's the same for all the circuits as well. Like, doesn't matter which track you drive, the grass is always pretty long. Bit of grass coming through the curbs. Stay in third through here, just make sure we don't invalidate the lap. Now, we've got 2 purple sectors. Now, if that's working as it should, I think that means we've got the fastest first and second sector of everyone. That's normally what purple signifies anyway, so I'm going to assume that's the case. Right, that last corner, really, really imbalanced and horrible. Need to stay in third, I think. Horrible last sector, but we'll get the lap in. I think we're on for like a high 49, low 50, probably a low 50. 149.8, there we go. Okay, so we got pole. Still 8 seconds for other people to beat us, and I don't know if we'll be able to finish the lap we start. I guess we can find out. I'm guessing the session will just advance when the timer hits 0. Yeah, there you go. So that thing I was saying about fast-paced qualifying sessions doesn't quite come true. Yeah, so in terms of settings, I've actually been running the default settings. I might have increased the gain on the force feedback in general. I have, in fact, upped that. But obviously that entirely depends on what force feedback settings you're running locally as well, on your particular wheelbase. In terms of car setups, everything's on default. So I think in some servers you can adjust the car setups and some you can't. This is, again, my first day of testing the online properly, so I don't actually know that for sure. But you can definitely adjust car setups in Rennsport, and you can change how they feel, and the setup changes. I don't know if Ross is still here in Discord, but Ross was playing around with this a little bit, and it seems like the setup changes you can make do have the expected outcome generally. Like there's a natural feeling to those setup adjustments, which is quite good.
Yeah, I found that the setup changes made sense. Like they made the car do what you expected it to do. So not tried everything, but like it's quite a good sign so far. There's quite a lot of setup changes you can make as well, so it gets quite complicated, especially in terms of suspension and diff settings. Very exciting stuff.
Plenty to get
like
stuck
that
into.
kind of thing.
Our race has just started. One tip for everyone: turn your traction control to 0 at the race start, no matter what car you're driving. If you're doing a standing start, that is. Because it's actually a tip that the game tells you in the loading screen. It says turn your traction control to 0 for a better start. But obviously, a lot of these cars aren't designed for standing starts. In real life, like GT3 cars, for instance, never do standing starts. But in this game, you will get some standing starts, like we just did, and having traction control on can really hurt you. So if you've got a button you can map, or you use the MFD, turn your traction off for the beginning, and then just remember to put it back up to where you want it for the actual race. You can also see left-hand side of the screen, we've got our MFD on the left with tyre percentages. So you've got tyre wear, you've got obviously brake temperatures, you've got the colour there as well, you've got pressure, tyre pressure, you've got quite a detailed looking tyre model. I'd quite like to battle with Campman behind us, so we'll maybe let them go through on this pit straight just to try and get some battling going, because I want to really test out the netcode and the battling, the crossplay. I mean, I don't need to let them by on the straight because I'm making terrible mistakes anyway. In fact, Campman's dropped it. So it looks like we're going to race efforts instead, so we're going to lift a little bit here. There you go with fuel and damage as well on the bottom left. You can't quite see the full thing, so I apologise. My face is in the way a little bit, so I'll maybe raise that for the next one. But you've got ABS and traction control settings. You've got headlights and stuff, blinkers. You've got pit lane options there you can see in the bottom left. So repairing stuff, the estimated pit stop time, and that's it. And then you've got a kind of relative timer as well. So we're going to drop back to P2 here, and we'll try and get a battle going. P1's run wide, so we're instantly back through. I can hear them. I can't look left properly because the seat of the car's in the way. There's also a big inconsistency with FOV settings. So the game always defaults to 90 FOV, and obviously there's a whole other thing you could talk about with finding your correct FOV setting, and it totally depends on the game itself and how it interprets the numbers and does all of that. But what you'll find is some cars you feel like you're miles away with 90, and other cars feel perfect with 90. So it doesn't feel like the FOV is consistent across all the different cars, which obviously makes it very tricky to find what's right, because your sense of speed is going to be different across all the different cars, which I was finding very strange. And also, because if it defaults to 90, but if you change it, it only changes it for that car. So you then got to change it for all the cars. Beamer's off again. We pressured them into a little bit of a mistake. I can't look right because my chair's in the way. So we're going to try and go for a big up and under here. I just want to show you how netcode is and things like that. So you can see on the radar, we're very, very close to the car in front. Pretty natural movements. You've got this kind of dashboard view as well. So it's not 100% smooth, but as you can see, it is very decent. I'm going to pull out. Probably brake too late, but that's fine. Oh no, got it stopped. Got kind of chase cam look back. Again, I'll try a little bit of chase cam just to show you. 5 minutes left of this race. Oh, bit of grass. I was analysing the... I was looking at the back of the car and the Unreal Engine stuff, and then I'm almost losing it on the grass. Excellent. And you've got that kind of closer chase cam view as well. Get off the brake nice and early. Seems to really help out the nose of the car. It's just not... This car's just not doing it for me in terms of, like, the enjoyment of driving. It doesn't feel like... Normally when I drive the BMW M2, and I said this earlier, it just feels right. It feels natural. It feels like this car has been set up to be fun to drive. Great for, like, you know, an entry-level motorsport, looking at, you know, the start of a GT pyramid, but it's a bit soft, it's a bit bouncy, but actually it's purposeful, and it's this and that, and it's just fun. You can slide it around, you can drift it, all of these things. And with this, I'm just not getting that natural feeling. It feels uncertain to me. I don't know yet what I'm doing with it. And some of that comes from time. Some of it comes from perseverance. But in the GT3s, for instance, you jump in and pretty quickly you're like, okay, this feels natural. That was a bit too wide. I was getting a bit too confident. I've turned off traction as well, just to give that a bit more of a feel. I can't remember when we got our one incident point in this race. I've got one incident point. Oh, again, multitasking is not my forte. We're probably going to get 2 incident points now. There we go. Yeah, so the whole thing is going to be, of course, this versus PMR is the 2 big kind of multi-discipline racing games of the month. And yeah, I think oh, he's going to let me go. Thank you. I would not be surprised if PMR is also pretty unpolished, based on what we've tried so far. Polish can mean a lot of different things, of course. But content-wise and feature-wise, PMR's got a lot going for it, which I think Rennsport lacks. And we tried PMR's AI racing at Sim Racing Expo, and it was all right on some combos, and then it felt completely unready on other combos where there was like problems with it, and that's fine. But at least you had some combos where it worked well, whereas with this, I'm yet to find a combo where the AI just works as intended. There always seems to be issues, so there's a big difference there. But we'll bring you all of our PMR coverage when we can, because it's coming this month, so we will keep you on top of all that stuff. It's not a Fuji issue with the grass. It's game wide. It's a game-wide grass. The lawnmowers are on strike, unfortunately, so... Or the greenkeepers. Just cannot get my braking right for that first hairpin. Too early or too late every time. Oh, that was invalid. I kind of want to re-enter that battle, but we've only got a couple of laps left anyway, so maybe just save it for the next race. It's like Croft in terms of the grass, or Snetterton when you go into the field. Ah, the 2 wheels on the grass, the iRacing special. Oh, yeah, too late on the brakes here. It's so funny because in the GT3s, you know, at Monza there, I was having to brake a lot later than I thought I could, and I'm very, very used to GT3s at Monza and various sims, and it's probably the latest I've felt comfortable braking, and you can get it stopped. Whereas this is the opposite. I'm like, you have to brake earlier than you expect. Ugh. I'm not getting like a nice sort of consistent slide with this where I can feel it coming through the steering early and you can hold it in a big slide. It just feels like it's either gripping and it's stable, or it's wallowing and it's kind of out of control. There's a lack of a kind of nice controlled 4-wheel slide nuanced middle ground with this car. Right, we'll go for a fast lap. We're on PC at the moment, for whoever's wondering. So I'm driving on PC, but I am, of course, racing cross-platform. So everyone else in this race, pretty much, other than a few, are on console. So myself and P3 are on PC. Everyone else is on PS5. Some issues with Xbox at the moment, by the sounds of it. So I've not seen any Xbox players. I don't think Xbox players can actually race online at the moment, but hopefully that's a very quick fix. Considering people have paid money to have early access for 72 hours, you hope you can actually use it. Look at the heat in the front left through this right-hander. You see it going red on the tyre HUD there. Then through the left-hander, I can get a little bit of orange on the front right, but it's just that front left was super loaded up through the long right-hander. Clippy Crippy, if you're just looking for online racing, then yeah, you can make a decision based on this, but oh dear. If you're looking for a good single player experience and all that, definitely wait until you see more before putting your money into it, I would say. Oh, nice. Laps invalid anyway, so we're just gonna chuck it around. We've got an optimal, you get an optimal lap time as well, which is cool. So we've got a 1:48.9 ideal lap. But one thing as well I've noticed, when you cross the finish line, so you've obviously got like a best lap indicator there at the top left, so you can see what your best lap time is. You can see what everyone else's lap times are as well, which is cool. But unfortunately, when you cross the line to finish the race, I don't think there's any way of viewing it. So like, after this race finishes, say I was to set a new fastest lap on this one, as soon as you cross the line, it disappears. You can see the total time. You can see the finishing positions and the penalties, but you cannot see fastest laps, and I've not found a way to find that. There might be in the records, which I'll maybe check after this. But, and there's the car crashing in the background. That's me straight into the turn 1 gravel trap and wall, and there's someone else inside me now. So that's someone's fuel cap. And here I can hear someone else coming in. There we are, another crash. So yeah, as soon as the race is over, you lose control and everything happens behind the results screen. So you can hear it and everything. HUD is completely customizable, so we can have a look at that at some point. What else have we got? We've got people asking about a set of Corsa Competizione. Do you think Rennsport is better than ACC for console players? Again, very much a question with lots of different facets, but without spoiling our review too much, at the moment, no. We're leveling up. So we're now level 9. We've got 500 XP until level 10, so you can see what you gain from each race. Qualification position, race completed, race position, fastest lap, incident points, and distance. So all of these add towards a kind of in-game level. So you can see that at the top right. We'll go from level 8 to level 9. Apparently we need to complete 3 more races to receive our rank. This now, I don't actually think I'm on my kind of normal account here, so it's going to look, we're on like a special, I was on a special account for reviewing the game, so this player card will not actually be mine going forward. So I don't know if it'll work properly, but I just want to have a look. Race history. Here we go. So we can view the Fuji race we just did. We can view the Monza race we did before that. But no fastest laps. So all we can do is view the total race time and the position. So that's slightly annoying. You can see qualifying and practice as well. You've got achievements and leaderboards. So you've got mileage and track best. I think that's carried over from the early version of the game, because that's all top esports drivers that have been doing this game in ESLR1 and everything. So I think that's all carried over. Achievements is pretty cool. You've got like a full roster of achievements, so you can view all your different things in here. So there's a wee look anyway. What's next? There's Nordschleife races which are going on, which is quite cool. What is it? Half one we can do. So we can do the amateur race at Jeddah Corniche. I don't think we can do the Orchard Road. We don't have the ratings to do this multi-class feature race. We need to get more of a rating going. You've also got Pro at Spas. We can't do that yet. You need to build up more of a rating. So you've got GT4 at Road Atlanta just after 1:30, so 10 minutes time. Or we can do at 1:30 the amateur R1 contest. Is that Praga? That might be quite fun. Something a bit different. Jeddah Corniche, you've got 26 drivers in, so let's do that one. Is it in the Prague R1? No, it's GT3. I just saw R1 contest. We'll drive the McLaren actually. Will you be buying miniguns and rocket launchers at some level? Maybe. Maybe. I can show you HUD modifications as well once we get into this. I'm just going to move the camera up a little bit, and then I'm going to run away for 10 seconds. So let me just move this up so you can see the full HUD when we're in the race. Beep. Beep. That should do. If it needs moved again, I'll hopefully check it in a little practice session. I'm going to be back in literally just a second, so bear with me. But our next race starts in just over 2 minutes. So yeah, give me just a second. Right, I am back. I probably shouted very loud into the mic there, so sorry for the jump scare. Let me get the chat back up as well. We've got a minute till our Jeddah Corniche race. Once again, apologies for all the carnage this morning trying to get the stream going. We had some issues with with getting the correct version of the game, apparently, which was an update that happened partway through this morning, and it's to do with us, the fact that we're reviewing the game, so there was a small issue with the press build. But I'm glad we could get on anyway and do some driving a little bit later than expected. And thank you, as always, for joining us on this. So, the thing that's going to be difficult with the ranking system and stuff. I'm seeing. Sorry, just to be for context, I'm seeing this question from RSR, and it's, how does online racing compare to G7 daily races? This is literally you're witnessing as we go here the first experience of the online racing, and because you have to clearly finish 5 races before you get a certain ranking. So at the moment, it's very difficult to say how it compares in terms of progression and ranking, because these are just you need to do 5 to get a base ranking, which I understand, and I think everyone's in the same boat. You can see here, real quick, some drivers have a rating. So like John Bond here, 2,410, whereas Florin has 2,272. So these drivers, I presume, have done 5 races already, whereas the rest of us are TBD, so to be determined. So we're all rookies in the online racing world on Rennsport. So only a few drivers have managed to do 5 races already. So there you go. I see Cameron's here as well. Cameron. It's not just a Fuji grass issue. It's a basically everyone's on strike. Greenkeepers around the world are on strike. No one's cutting the grass on Rennsport, because when you going through the S's at Road Atlanta, it's a bit like going through a forest rally stage. You've got high grass on both sides as you go down through them, and it actually, do you know what? I kind of like it in some instances, because it makes the tracks feel a bit different to the way they always feel in every other game, where they all look very similar. But it is definitely longer than it would be in real life. Let's put it that way. Michael, should you buy this game? I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I will repeat this every so often, but I don't want to go too hard. But basically, our main review is coming soon. So if you're someone who likes single-player racing games, wait until you watch our review before you consider whether to buy this game or not. And it will come. Our review will be there as soon as we can get it done. We just had to test the online as well first before we could come up with final opinions and things. But yeah, I would not recommend buying this game until you've seen the review if you're interested in single player racing. There are also hypercars to drive. Yes, thank you so much. Oh, we've got another donation as well from Daniel or Daniele. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate the support as always. And you've asked, yeah, there are also hypercars to drive. Yes, there are hypercars to drive. This race, by the way, I don't know why we've not started yet. It's a little bit concerning. We should be. I'm wondering if this is a bit of a glitch. There is another race at 36 minutes past, so we've got 4 minutes. We'll see if this fixes itself, or if I leave and rejoin. Didn't even mean to leave there, but okay. This session's already started. Oh, so what? So we can't get in? Is that it? Yeah. All right. We're signed up for this session. All I did was I didn't even get a confirmation to say, are you sure you want to quit or anything? I just hit the escape button once because I had no option to join the race and it was seeming to be frozen. And now I can't get back in, even though I'm registered and we're only in practice. That's very annoying. So I guess we'll be going with the rookie Michelin Road Atlanta GT4 race instead. Oh dear. Oh well. Oh well. I mean, I don't necessarily... I'm quite happy to drive Road Atlanta and GT4s because we've already done GT3s. Oh, what? I don't meet the minimum safety ranking or race room ranking. Oh. We can't do that one either. That's bizarre. So I can't do the rookie race. Oh, I can. Okay, now I'm in it. Hang on a minute. What's going on here? So does it say... It says you do not meet the minimum rating to register, but then it let me join the session. Alright, so now can I actually get back to the lobby tab? So that's just filters. We've got that. So you've got fixed setup on or off. That's fine. Okay, so now can I join? Rejoin. Okay, the rejoin button had disappeared and it came back. So we've got a little bit of glitching. I actually, do you know, jokes aside, that was very clunky with the UI, but I think that was more glitchy than clunky. There was like buttons that disappeared and then reappeared and all sorts of stuff going on. So I did actually just miss a race there, unfortunately, at Saudi Arabia Jeddah Corniche circuit. However, I actually think the UI is really good. I think it's really clean. I think it's clear. It's a little bit... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Right, game requires an update. It's another... We've got a day 1 patch. An update and restart is required to continue playing. Please exit the game and update to access all features. All right. Let's see. We might still get a third race one day.
So you mentioned hypercars earlier on.
Yes.
What do you think of them?
What do I think of them? I actually think they're not bad. They're not my favorite, but they're not bad. Yeah. I am feeling like a solid 7.5 out of 10 on the hypercars. I think that we did a little test race, Ross, between the two of us, and you were in the BMW M Power V8 hybrid V8, and I was in the Porsche 963, and we had a good little battle, and it was quite fun. We were struggling a bit for braking, but other than that, the way we were able to race each other, I thought, and the physics of the car and the handling, the force feedback was actually pretty solid. It's not LMU, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed with the hypercars.
Yep.
Apart from the braking, which, as you say, it was a lot more difficult. And actually, I'm trying to think, like, what other cars in the game don't have ABS? Because
that is a good point, actually.
I think most of the cars do not have ABS. Sorry, have ABS.
What about the Praga? Maybe I can't think right
Possibly
now.
the Praga, but most of them are like GT3, GT4.
Yeah.
BMW M2, which has got ABS. So I wonder, like, if that feeling is more like how the sim kind of conveys non-ABS braking, or whether we're just rubbish. Could be either or.
I I thought I kind of got the hang of it a bit. Like I didn't, but it did involve. I was inconsistent, and it definitely took a lot of getting used to.
Yeah.
But even in the BMW M2 there at Fuji, I was struggling with where to brake. It was the opposite in the GT3. I could go later and later and later, and it was fine. I'm not getting an update, by the way, which is slightly concerning. So basically, the game said I have to quit and update it to play, but I'm not getting any updates. So I've rebooted Steam. I am running on Steam. Someone asked about Epic and Steam. We're running on Steam. But yeah, I'm not getting any updates coming through, and I've rebooted it. So we're gonna just persevere a little bit and try again. It's really, I don't know if it's a surprise to you, Ross. It's not a surprise to me, but it's interesting to see confirmation. There are so many PS5 players versus PC players, and I think to me that makes a lot of sense, right? Because I'm just going to show you what's on screen while I speak. It makes a lot of sense to me because PlayStation users do not have as many sims in this area, and this therefore fills a bigger hole. Whereas on PC, I think there's so many the things that Rennsport seems to do well. There are so many other sims that already do that well and do other stuff that it doesn't have the same potential market, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of what Rennsport is. I think it is going to be focused on consoles because, as you say, there are not many console sims about. I mean, you've got Gran Turismo 7, which is great. I think we all love it. Like even like big sim fans will still play Gran Turismo because it's just got so many cars. The detail's incredible.
You can appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, but actual proper full blown simulations like along the lines of Le Mans Ultimate, and you've got ACC as well. But as you'll have seen from the Traction website today, Kunos has stated that ACC will only get 2025 GT World Challenge liveries, and then that's it.
Yes.
No more updates, no more content for ACC. So there is like a big kind of power vacuum there for sim racing console supremacy, and it's Rennsport and Project Motor Racing sized at the moment.
Yep.
So yeah, that is where it's going to be, where it's going to kind of fail or succeed, as on how popular it is going to be in console. And to be honest, I think it should be quite popular in console because the actual driving is, it's perfectly fine. Most of the time it's perfectly good. But as a single player experience, it is not perfectly good.
No, it is actively poor, like very poor. And you'll see this in the review. But the single player element of this game feels like it's been sort of sewed on at the last minute, and it will have been. I know it's not been sewed on at the last minute. It's been worked on by hardworking people that are doing their best to get this in as good a state as possible. But it just doesn't feel ready. And I think for console players, that's going to be a surprise because we're kind of used to on PC having a lot of early access style sim racing titles that are a bit more sandboxy and kind of just they have good online racing, you have good kind of time trial-y stuff, and you can get out on a car and track, but everything else feels a little bit more kind of work in progress in terms of AI and modding and all of these sorts of things, a bit more sandboxy. Whereas I think on console you tend to be more used to buying a game and it being already in a decent state to be able to have an experience. And it's not every console game has a good single player experience. Not all console games have multiplayer experiences, but generally speaking, the consensus is if a game has a single player and a multiplayer experience, that both will be of a certain level. And I think the problem that people are going to have with Rennsport is if people are buying this game for a lot of money, let's not beat around the bush. It's not cheap. It's not a £20-30 game. If you're buying this game for, especially at full price early access or anything, expecting a single player experience, and then you get something that feels like what is the very early kernels of a single player experience, you'd be annoyed. So yeah, I don't know. And it's been worked on for a long time. Yeah, Cameron makes a good point. I mean, this game's been in development for a long time, and to their credit, it's always been very public. The development's taken place essentially in public. We as racing game fans have seen the process throughout. We've seen it, the first unveiling 4 years ago. But I mean, there was online racing back then for ESL. I know it was LAN events and stuff, and the actual sort of full multiplayer stuff didn't come in until later down the line in the early access program. I think when it got to open beta, but the game doesn't like the single player specifically does not feel like it's gone far at all forward from that point. And it's like I think we've been saying this could be good and this has got good foundations and is promising for many years, but now the game's launched, it still feels in some elements like that, which is a real shame. I am still not getting in here, guys, just to warn you. Before I lose this comment, I just want to say a big thank you to Nicholas, who's also given us a small donation, and every little bit counts. And yeah, it's not the first donation we've had to date. Really appreciate your support as always. And these sorts of things all add up, and it helps us survive and push on and create the content for all of you and continue to grow. So a big shout out to everyone who supported us through this stream and others. The comment is, yeah, Rennsport looks promising, but then PMR is launching in a few weeks. So let us see if both games can stand out from each other. Yes. I think PMR has got like a lot of different facets that could go well or go badly, and it'll very much depend on how it actually feels to play, and we'll not really know for sure until we get into it. But early signs are like, oh, there's lots of cool stuff here. Some of it feels really good. Some of it feels very unready. Let's see what happens when it launches. Whereas this is the launch version we're getting now, and yeah, it doesn't have all of those features to fall back on if there are important things that aren't ready. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. It's another one of my absolute rambles, talking nonsense, just whatever comes to my mind, but hopefully it makes some form of sense.
I mean, from what we've seen already from Project Motor Racing, it's definitely more focused towards single player, like a single player career mode.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think it should be in a much better state than Rennsport, especially in terms of single player when it releases.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of Rennsport, like the single player offering, is that like I think it's just like championships. So I don't think there's like a kind of career mode to speak of.
No. There are custom AI events, but the customization options are very limited. And there are championships, which are quite linear, and it's more of like the idea there is it's a training tool to get you into online racing. So it's almost like you can try against some AI and try some races, and you can complete that once, and then
2 seconds. Someone at the door.
Oh, nice. We've got a new Morningwood Racing series. Thank you for becoming a community member. Very much appreciate the support. That's awesome. Welcome to the Traction YouTube community. Rennsport Ignition, says Cameron Millen. There is a little bit of that, unfortunately. There is a bit of Rennsport Ignition, which I don't like to say. But it's true. We also there's a couple of comments I want to pick up on here. Sweet Cherry Grower, I'm on PS5, don't care for single player. You are the person that Rennsport is for right now in its current state. So for you, this game could well be worth it from day one. If you can get the enjoyment out of it from the multiplayer, we obviously still need to see how this driver ranking system works and whether it's how dynamic it is, how much it can grow. Because if it's literally just you've got a driver rating and a safety rating, that's fine. Where is the sense of progression beyond that? There might not be one. It might just be having fun, doing races, door-to-door action, which Rennsport seems very good at. Multiplayer, door-to-door racing, cross-platform. It seems really, really good on early impressions. So I'm not going to criticize that at all. I'm being mega impressed. So if that's your wheelhouse and that's what you want to do, it definitely could be something for you to buy. So we've also had Matt Lawson saying, could you have £58 worth of fun from Rennsport? Again, if that's what you're into and you don't have other options and you like the feeling of Rennsport physics-wise, for online racing only, for building up a safety ranking, having a journey on that side of things, I'm sure you can have £58 worth of fun from Rennsport. I mean, what else what do you spend £58 on that you can get days and days of enjoyment out of? So yes is the answer to that question. But only if you're into that specific form of racing and you don't care for single player, you don't care for a proper sense of progression and lots of different engaging features, and you also don't mind about a game that's going to have bugs and glitches that will continue to hopefully be ironed out, but it's not a completely clean slate. So every game is worth it to someone. It's just a balance of like how many people is it worth it to. There are certain games which are so good across the board that they're just worth the money to anyone. Because no matter what you're into sim racing wise, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to have fun and there's going to be something for you. This is way more tailored. So, yeah.
So Ryan Walsh has just said in the chat, that's this month I can get either NASCAR on Steam, Rennsport, or PMR. So if you're looking for advice, I'd say buy a Assetto Corsa Rally.
Well, we don't know about that yet, though, Ross. We've not tried. We've not tried the first early access version of that. We only tried the very vertical slice at the Sim Racing Expo, and that was super exciting and super enjoyable. So I'm very much expecting that to be the case. But
Yeah.
you can never, because we don't know what mega PCs we were running on. We don't know if that was the version that we're going to get. It's never quite as simple. So I'm always cautious, but I get where you're going.
Yeah, just for anyone that doesn't know, most of the Traction team are like massive rally fans, and I think Assetto Corsa Rally, when we saw it and when John and Tom have had like a little go in it, it's definitely piqued my interest, and it looks good. So
Yeah.
that is, I've got high hopes.
Yes, me too. Me too. I think I'll buy Project Motor Racing, Ryan. Again, I think the potential is high with Project Motor Racing. I'm not expecting a fully polished game of perfection. I'm expecting a game that divides opinion. I think we've already seen divided opinion from people that have played the game, from people that have watched others playing the game. So I think Project Motor Racing is going to be full of great stuff and also worrying stuff. That's an expectation. That's not a analysis. That's a prediction. And I haven't played the first version yet. I've only played kind of early builds and things at events and stuff like that. And it's been a mixed bag. But we'll obviously let you know how the actual game is when it releases. So as usual with these games, we'll bring you our reviews when we can, and it will be a review from the perspective of version 1.0. How is it, covering all bases, and we want to be thorough with it, and we want to be obviously constructive, and our reviews are not about, like, I don't know what the word is, but we're not trying to we're not going to try to get too excited on one side, and we're not also trying to get too negative. We're trying to be very objective and just look at the game as a whole package from lots of different perspectives as well. So it's not just about sim racers with steering wheels and fancy PCs. It's about players on console with controllers. It's about younger players if it's a game that's tailored towards that audience. There are so many different facets that we've got to cover. So depending on your perspective, just keep an eye out for the information we can bring you. Obviously, check everyone else's YouTube videos and stuff as well, because there are lots of amazing YouTube channels covering these games on the build up too. And that will always add to your perspective. It will definitely not be the case that everyone agrees. There will always be differences of opinion. So that's why we try and just bring it to you from as many different perspectives as possible. Because like any of these games, the same game will work brilliantly for one person and be well worth it, and really not worth it for someone else. So you've got to pay attention to the nuances and the variables and what you're looking for in a game. So like, for example, someone says here, if I can find the comment, maybe actually it's... is the comment still there? Oh no, it was Matt Lawson earlier. Let me ask another. Would you buy both Rennsport and PMR if you're a PC player? So for me, as a PC player, I would not buy Rennsport because in its current state. And that is because for me, there are lots of other sim racing titles that do the things that Rennsport does well, and they also do it well, and I enjoy them a lot. So I have Rennsport's not it's not adding anything new to my library. If it did an amazing single player, it would potentially be adding to my library. But right now in its current state, the reasons I play Rennsport would be for the multiplayer fun and also for the cool cars and tracks, because actually there are some really cool tracks through Rennsport, some original tracks, some mod tracks, stuff like that, which are wicked, really, really cool, fun to drive. So that's another cool reason to try Rennsport. But me personally, I wouldn't buy it. However, on PlayStation 5, I'm looking for some online racing. I'm looking for something that's quite serious, sim-focused, and I like what I see from these multiplayer races that we're doing today, for instance, or we're trying to do today, then, definitely worth considering buying, for sure. That's very kind of you, Swindell Mac. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support, as always. I see you commenting on our streams every so often, and it's much appreciated. And we will try our best to continue to give you the info. So just a reminder... and by the way, guys, I am constantly in the background resetting this game, shutting down Steam, trying to get updates. We're on a press build, which is a bit different, so it might not be that we get updates at the same time as you. There's some nuances there, so hopefully we can get sorted. But I promise I'm trying in the background to get this running.
I was just about to say I'm doing exactly the same thing. Like, I've downloaded the game for the second time today, and I started it, and it told me that I needed to update it. So I came out, updated it. I'll try to update it, but there's no update to download. So
yes,
we're kind of in a state of limbo at the moment.
Yes, that might well be it, and I definitely need to I was going to do some races and then end the stream at some point this afternoon because we've actually got some chats with Rennsport themselves this afternoon, which is great. So obviously, if we pick up any information from chatting to the team at Rennsport, we will of course be writing articles about that. We will be considering this for the review. So as always, keep an eye on the TraxionGG website for all the latest updates. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss our coverage of the game, and we'll try and ask lots of questions today when we get the chance to. Which we're in contact with these teams and developers throughout these processes, so we do try and get your questions across whenever we see them. And but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get on right now, Ross. It looks like, I mean, we for the rest of the day, we also still need to actually get our review done and get it edited and get it produced and everything, so that we can bring it to everyone as soon as possible. So I can't unfortunately sit and reset this all day. So we'll give it another few minutes, but we might have to call it very soon, guys. Unfortunately. There's a lot of chat about NASCAR as well, by the way, in the chat. Now I've done a stream of NASCAR 25. We haven't actually done a full review of that game yet, but that we are hoping to get that done at some point soon. Just the timing of it all was a nightmare with the Sim Racing Expo and everything.
I mean, there's a good reason for that as well, because the amount of like patches and updates and everything like that for NASCAR 25 has been pretty insane.
Yes.
So I think if you play the game like a couple of weeks after the release version, I think how they play and like the bugs and stuff like that, it's going to be very different. So I think having a review like a couple of weeks later is maybe like a better interpretation of how the game actually is.
Yes.
But by and large, I think it's had some pretty positive review scores, hasn't it? So
it has. I actually have positive feelings towards NASCAR 25. I also think, I think a lot of NASCAR fans, we're desperate for a good NASCAR game after the whole Ignition debacle, and the fact that there's been reasonable or kind of solid enough NASCAR games in the past 15 years, but there's been no great NASCAR games. So obviously there's a lot of appetite for just first of all a working decent NASCAR game that's not Ignition. And this delivers that for sure. It's not perfect by the looks of it. There are definitely some things there are some let's say some like flaws that can be exploited with longer AI races, for instance, with the way it all works. It's not by any means a perfect product, but actually I really enjoyed playing it so far, and keeping the races quite short and just having fun with the career mode and not treating it too seriously. I actually really enjoyed playing through that, and I enjoyed streaming it, and I'm happy with how the game is. So NASCAR 25 is a good buy, especially if you're interested in NASCAR. Like if you have any interest in that sport and the strategy of the races and the way that works, the fact that it's got an immersive enough career mode where you have to build up your car and upgrade it, and there's things to do, and obviously there's online racing as well. Different sort of thing. It's not a hardcore sim, but it's another game that's well worth considering. There's just lots of new racing games coming out at the moment, which is cool. I'm going to launch one more time, Ross. I have closed Steam, opened it, I've updated, I've verified the files multiple times, I've done all of that stuff, and I'm not getting anywhere at the moment. And obviously I can go away, wait until this sorts, and then come back on, but by that point I need to be going away and editing our review, and I've got a meeting as well, so we've got lots of stuff to do, so I'm probably going to call it, unless it works right now, I'm going to probably call it there.
it's not working for me, so
no. It's day one, so let's be real. We expect there to be patches with this game. We expect there to be updates. That this is not a big surprise. What you don't want is the game to be down for a long period of time for everyone, because obviously people have spent a lot of money getting early access as part of the pre-order program. But maybe this is just an issue for us. Let us know. Are any of you playing Rennsport right now? Is it working for you? Is this just an us issue, or is it a Rennsport-wide problem? If you're watching the stream, you're probably not playing the game right now.
oh dear.
Rennsport is not free, Lego Brick fan. It has been free at points in the past as part of the early access program and the beta, but it is no longer free. No, PS5 is working. Thank you, Diogo. All right, I think it might just be an issue for us, but unfortunately, we have no way around that right now. So hopefully you're able to race anyway. We only got 2 races in, guys. I was really hoping for like 4 or 5 races because they're quite fast. We obviously had the problems earlier, which meant we delayed the start. We had the problems now, so unfortunately, we weren't even able to get 3 or 4 races. We've had to deal with 2, but it's hopefully been able to give you a taste of what the multiplayer looks like, of how the netcode works with PlayStation 5 users. Seems to be pretty stable on day one, which is impressive. And obviously, we've used that time to talk a little bit about the game. Again, one last reminder, our Rennsport review will be coming to the channel within the next few days, so please do subscribe and check out the review when it comes out, because you'll see so much more of the game than we've been able to cover in this stream, focusing on the online stuff. Hope you've enjoyed the rambling. Sorry there's not been more driving, but hopefully you guys can understand why. We're doing our best. But yeah, in the meantime, for anyone who's already bought the game and is playing it, enjoy, continue to enjoy. Multiplayer specifically, probably, for most of you. And for those who don't have the game, yeah, have a good week, and hopefully you enjoy the coverage and can make some decisions on it based on that. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else, Ross, that you wanted to say, or are you just so excited to try all the other exciting games that we've got coming up?
Yeah, I think I'm all Rennsported out at the moment. But it would be nice to like actually get on and try some, you know, ranked multiplayer.
Yeah.
Now that the game's live, but.
Well, I need to get on to capture replays. I actually need to get on to be able to do my capture anyway, for the review, because we've got more replays to capture and stuff to make our to fill out the B-roll in our review, giving you a bit of behind the scenes. Insight.
Well, best of luck trying to capture replays, because I think the last 3 replay files I've tried to load have just like immediately crashed the desktop. So,
oh dear.
So that's a bug that may need to be addressed very soon.
I'm not the only one. Not the only one.
Yes.
Right. Guys, we're going to call it here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated as always. We look forward to seeing how this game develops over time. Obviously, we'll bring you the review when we can. And we've got lots of other very, very exciting content coming up for you in the coming weeks. You've talked about it so much in the chat, all the games that are coming up. And of course, we will be all over that as much as we can be. Also, keep an eye on the TraxionGG website on a daily basis, so you can keep up with all the news and all the updates and all the patch notes and all of Ross's opinions and Tom's opinions and Martin's opinions and the whole team. So we will, I mean, I know you'll be frantically typing away for the next week and a half, or, well, I mean, it never stops, does it? Frantically typing away continuously. So
Never stop.
It never stops. So do keep an eye on the website, all of that jazz. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you again very soon. And yeah, that's it. See you later.
Goodbye.